Festival Lead is a deck that's been around for quite a bit ever since it came out back in Twilight Masquerade, and this is one of the few decks where it has like multiple cards that all blend together into like this one archetype kind of thing. We've seen it a few times with Pokemon that have like specific named attacks that do more damage to every Pokemon that has that attack. For example, we've had stuff like Lost March, Night March. We've also had the Lost Zone type of archetype that we had back in the end of the Sword and Shield era, with stuff like Giratina and Comfy and all that kind of stuff. And we've seen it a few times in the Scarlet and Violet era, one of them being the Festival Lead archetype of cards. Festival Lead says if Festival Grounds is in play, which is the stadium card we'll get into later, this Pokemon may use an attack it has twice. If the first attack knocks out your opponent's active Pokemon, you may attack again after your opponent chooses a new active Pokemon. Basically, if you have the stadium card Festival Grounds in play, any Pokemon with the Festival Lead ability, such as this Diplin, can attack twice, which can be very, very powerful depending on the attack the Pokemon has. And Diplin does have a pretty good attack. For one grass energy, Do the Wave does 20 damage for each of your benched Pokemon. So with 5 Pokemon in play, that's 100 damage. If you have Festival Grounds in play, you can attack again. That's 200 damage. That's, not bad. The Pokemon's weak to grass and you can do even more damage. If you have any attack damage boosts, for example, Maximum Belt or Brave Bangle, you're going to do an extra damage for both attacks. So with Brave Bangle, you'll do 130, then another 130, and with Maximum Belt, you do 150, and then another 150. You also have other damage boosting cards in the format. You can see how powerful this card and deck could actually be. The only problem is, the deck did almost nothing for ever since it came out. I mean, it was like an okay rogue deck, but it just didn't really do a whole lot. But post-rotation, this deck is very, very, very strong. So getting into the list, we are playing 3 Applin from Twilight Masquerade and then 1 Applin also from Twilight Masquerade. For some reason, Twilight Masquerade had 2 different printings of Applin. I don't know why. Yes, this is a different card despite being an R-rare. We're playing 4 Diplin. This is our main attacker, as I just said. Do the Wave is a very, very strong attack. We're playing 4 Grookey and 4 Thwackey with 1 Rillaboom. Thwackey is one of the best cards in this deck. Boom Boom Groove. Once during your turn, if your active Pokemon has the Festival Lead ability, you may search your deck for a card, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. You may notice that this ability doesn't say once per turn, you can only use 1 Boom Boom Groove. So if you have multiple Thwackeys in play, you can just search whatever you need. And if you need multiple cards, you can search every single one of them. Need a boss's orders? Just search a boss's orders. Need your energy for the turn? And search that. Need your stadium because your opponent got rid of it? Search the stadium. You can just get whatever you need, and with multiples in play, you can just get whatever you need. The only downside being you have to have a Pokemon with the Festival Lead ability in the active, so your opponent could boss up something that doesn't have the Festival Lead ability, so then you need to retreat out in order to get those searches, or you might accidentally put up something that doesn't have the Festival Lead ability and try to use the ability and be like, oh, I can't use it now. That's the only kind of downside. Rillaboom is there just as like kind of a late game attacker if you really need it. It has Drum Beating. During your opponent's next turn, attacks used by the defending Pokemon cost a colorless more, and its retreat costs a colorless more. And it also has Wood Hammer, which does 180 for 2 grass. It's there just in case you need it. And if we're up against certain decks, for example, Crustle plays Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, so we play this so that we can basically just beat over anything, because Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon can't be damaged by Pokemon with abilities, and Festival Lead is an ability. We're also playing 1 Relor with 1 Rabsca, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks by your opponent's Pokemon done to your benched Pokemon. Just a form of bench protection, and we are also playing Shaman for that same thing. We're also playing Goldeen, which has the Festival Lead ability, and it has Whirlpool, but Whirlpool isn't really that good of an attacker if I'm honest, but we do play Seeking. With its rapid draw for 1 colorless, does 60 damage, and then you draw 2 cards. Obviously, if Festival Grounds in play, you can draw 4 cards and do 120 damage for 1 energy, it's not bad. And then for item cards, we're playing 4 Buddy Buddy Puffin, 3 Bug Catching Set to grab any grass Pokemon and or grass energy, look at the top 7 cards of our deck, 1 Night Stretcher, 4 Pokepad, 1 Secret Box as our ace spec, because this is a deck where our stadium card is kind of important. We're also playing 1 Switch, 1 Tool Scrapper, 4 Festival Ground. This says that each Pokemon that has an energy attached recover from all special conditions and can't be affected by any special conditions. Basically, we can't be affected by special conditions, and also our opponent can be affected by special conditions, which against some matchups can be a bit helpful, but in those matchups you kind of just one-shot everything in this deck anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Like, for example, Zoroark likes to poison itself for extra damage, but you can just one-shot everything in this deck anyway. With like Reshiram, you don't really need the extra damage. Then for our supports, we're playing 1 Black Belt Training. This allows our Pokemon to do 40 more damage to our opponent's active Pokemon EX. And keep in mind, with the double attack, we technically do an extra 80 damage, which is very, very strong. 2 Boss's Orders. 1 Dawn, we can search our deck for a basic, a stage 1 and a stage 2. We only play the 1 stage 2, but that's why we only play the 1 copy of it. 2 Kieran, this allows us to either switch our active Pokemon with a bench Pokemon, or during our next turn we do 30 more damage to our opponent's active Pokemon EX, basically adding on an extra 60 with a double attack. 1 Linus Aid allows us to put 3 Pokemon and or basic energy cards from our discard pile into the hand. They have to be non-rule box, so we can't put EXs back or anything like that. And then we're playing 4 Lily's Determination, 1 Air Balloon, 2 Brave Bangle, I mentioned this earlier. If it's attached to a non-rule box Pokemon, it does 30 more damage to our opponent's active Pokemon EX. 1 Growing Energy, this gives the grass Pokemon attached to an extra 20 HP. And then 4 Grass Energy. We don't really need a whole lot of energies in this deck, because everything requires like 1 energy for its attack anyway. And we also have Lana's Aid and Night Stretcher in case we need to get anything back from the discard. So as always, we're going to take this deck onto the ladder and play 3 games with this deck. As always, it's my first time playing the deck, so mistakes may happen. It's a learning experience. I also apologise if you hear any background noise. It is currently 30 degrees outside here in the UK. That's 30 degrees centigrade. And yeah, it's very hot. I have the window open and I also have a fan on. So if you hear any background noise or anything like that, I do apologise. But I'm not leaving my window closed in this weather. It will turn my room into an oven. But going first or second with this deck, I think we probably want to go first. I think, maybe. Because we want to get ourselves ready for the next turn. I mean, I can always experiment with going first and going second, but for this game, we will go first. The do item locking could be a little bit annoying, but with this hand, we're kind of going to burn off all of our item cards anyway, so that doesn't really matter. So with this, I probably want to get a Grookey and then into something else. Okay, this is Beldum. This could be anything. They could be playing Matang for the ability to obviously get energy out of the deck with whatever it's called, Metal Maker. I'll take the energy and I guess the Rillaboom. Use another one. I will take a Thwackey and the Applin, or the Grookey and the Applin. Do that, do that. I mean, I could probably save the energy for now instead of wasting it on something that's going to get knocked out, because we only need 1 energy to attack anyway, so there's no point attaching it to something and like wasting it and having it be knocked out. Team Rocket's Petrol. Precious Trolley. Okay. So this could be anything. I know with the release of, was it Abyss Eye? Mega, which one is it? It's the Mega, what's the name of it? Excadrill, that's it. Apparently Mega Excadrill is a decent deck over in Japan because of Metal Maker, Beldum and stuff like that. Putting Genesect into the active. Person's playing very fast. This could be a bot, but I'm not sure. Strange that you don't Metallic Signal first and then draw 2. Okay, so they are playing the Metal Maker thing, but what are they attacking with? Nice top deck. But we don't have our Stadium, but we can search it. And we can also knock out this Genesect, which is very, very nice. So we are going to evolve. Then we're going to evolve into the Thwackey. I also could... I think it takes 30 less. So we're only doing 100 and something now, so I might have to use this Black Belt. I could Boom Boom Groove for the Stadium, or I could just grab something like a Lily to completely reset my hand. I could also just Secret Box. That's also another option. What would I grab with the secret box is the question. I can grab the stadium and I can grab the supporter. I think I'm gonna get the secret box. Discard my hand. I'm gonna get Lily. And we're gonna get Festival Grounds. I'm gonna get Bug Catching Set. That just seems like a very... Actually, no, I'm gonna get Pokepad because we can get another Thwacky. And I guess I'll just get this. We'll go ahead and slap this on here. We'll Pokepad for another Thwacky. We will go ahead and put the Festival Grounds into play, and then we will Lily. Refresh 8 cards. Not really a whole lot here. We're spamming emotes, I suppose. Man, my opponent just conceded. Okay then. Despite that game one being pretty short, it does go to show just how much the deck can spiral out of control with one Thwacky. Like, I was able to get Secret Box, get a whole bunch of stuff, get another Thwacky, then search my deck for whatever I wanted. And just go off from there. The deck is very, very strong. Especially when you have a non-once per turn search anything you want. It's really, really good. Put the... Actually, I don't mind putting out the Goldeen. That probably was a bad idea. Because, they might have... Wait, I forgot if you said I'm going first. They are playing Mega Starmie. But yeah, this deck is like very, very consistent at what it does. It's also just able to put out a lot of damage. There's many different ways to play the deck. Like, I'm playing Secret Box. Some lists are playing Max Belt instead. Our opponent is choosing to go first. They are playing Kyogre. It's a very interesting card. It does 20 damage for each basic water energy in your discard pile, and then you shuffle them back into the deck. But with this deck, you don't really play a whole lot of water energies, to be honest. Nice Lily. I'm going to slap this somewhere. Probably... I mean, I'm not attacking, so slap that there. We'll Bug Catching Set. Oh, I kind of don't want to use this Lily now. I mean, I can save it for next time. We'll put down another Grookey. And pass there. I do not want to use Lily when my hand has that in it. Stepping a water into the Kyogre with a Lily. So this was Starmie Frostlass. Frostlass against this deck isn't really that strong. I mean, you just one-hit kill everything anyway. And here it is. They're just going to go straight for the KO. So am I looking to knock out this turn? I need to do some maths, because if I get the right setup, I probably could. I'm going to evolve into a Diplin. We're going to Thwacky. Thing is, this Black Belt could be very useful. Because a plus 40 with... Plus 40, then with Brave Bangle, that's plus... That is a knockout, 170 times 2. But I do need my Stadium. And I also need, thingy. Right, we're gonna Boom Boom Groove. Gonna Boom Boom Groove for... I actually don't know. This is a very tough choice, because I could get the Brave Bangle. I mean, I have Secret Box. I could get Kieran. Kieran? No, Kieran is... Kieran still does it, I think? Yeah, 320. So I get this. I get Kieran, Bangle, Stadium, and then just whatever. And that is a KO. I'm gonna get Kieran. We'll get Bangle, Stadium, and an item. We'll probably just get a Pokepad. I'll get a Pokepad, and... Actually, no, I'll get a Buddy Puffin, actually. So we're going to attach the Brave Bangle, Festival Grounds, Buddy Puffin, for an Applin. We'll get 2 Applins. And then Kieran, we will do an extra 30 damage. And then do the wave for 160. And then we do the wave again for another 160 damage. And take 3 prize cards. Very nice. Very, very nice. And with the right setup, we could possibly do that next turn. Possibly. Keyword there being possibly. We do have the Brave Bangle. Mega Starmie is a 2-hit KO, unfortunately. That Fez looking very nice, though. So another thing with this deck, our opponent is only taking 1 prize card, but we can very easily get some very good knockouts. Jetting Blow can be a bit of an issue. They are going to grab a Legacy, and they are going to grab a Frostlass. So that is going to tick up damage on our Pokemon a little bit. That's not really that big of an issue, in my opinion. Just have to see where it goes. We're going to Jetting Blow. Going for one of the Applins. I'm fine with that. You get two prizes. I'm going to promote the other Applin. And we'll see where this takes us. So we have the double Thwackey, Pokepad, or the Diplin. Do that. Do that. And then I'm going to Boom Boom Groove. With this, I think we'll grab... I mean, I could go for the Fez. But I do kind of want to set up... I do need to set up another Applin, but Applin does have not a lot of HP. So Shaman could be a go-to. I could Lana, no. I want to get that boss. I could Bug Catch and hope to get Shaman, but I do want to get a boss for that. As do I even have... I don't have any Applins left. That is a bit of a problem. I'm gonna grab the boss. And then I'm gonna Boom Boom Groove. Am I gonna have to get an energy with this? I should have just gotten Lily or something like that. I'm preying on too much here. I mean, I got Shaman. And I'll get the Thwackey. Shaman, Thwackey, Boom Boom Groove. I think I might just Lana here instead. Then I can also get the energy and just do a whole bunch of damage. Because I'm not hitting the bench anymore. So yeah, I think that's the safer play. I'm going to get back 2 of these and this energy. Put this down. Put that there. And we'll do some damage. And I also have the boss for next turn, so I can just bring it up if needs be. Yes, I will perform the attack in. Do the wave. I'm fine with that. They get 130 move, but they can't hit the 50 on the bench. Get rid of the stadium. Fine with that. Actually, I kind of might have screwed myself here. I should have gotten a Diplin off of the other one. The other Thwackey, because now I don't have a way to search my deck next turn. Or like anywhere. I'm preying on a top deck, basically. Which isn't a situation I want to be in. We're gonna Jetting Blow. Yeah, I think I've royally screwed myself here. Is there a way that I can delay the turn? No, that gets knocked out and then they hit 30. Yeah. I should have gotten a different Pokemon. I should have searched another one if I could have done that, but yeah, it's whatever. My mistake. Sequencing is sometimes very important, and what you search can sometimes be very important. I had tunnel vision there, so I probably should have just like thought, what do I need here? Okay, I need this, I need this. I could have maybe hoped to get something. To be honest, I probably should have gotten an Applin, the Diplin, and the energy out of the discard instead of 2 Applins. So that's entirely my mistake. Just gonna put everything down. I think they were going first. No, we were going first. This could be Beedrill. Very interested to see how Beedrill performs. That is a pass from me. Very interested to see how this Beedrill deck performs, because there's only one Beedrill in the game. So you need to have multiple in play to get your damage up. We'll just see how it goes. But yeah, that second game, I could have played that a lot better. I should have just gotten the Lana. Like the Lana. Yeah, I should have just gotten Lana and then searched Shaman, bench Shaman, Lana for the energy, the Applin, and the Diplin, and then that would have been it. That was entirely my mistake on that. I played that really badly, because then I would have had another Diplin for the next turn, and then I could have used my Boom Boom Grooves to get an energy and then a stadium, and then I would have won. Entirely my mistake. We're playing the Dunsparce engine. Also got Smoliv there. Arbolivia could be a very, very annoying card for me. And that is a pass. Okay, well I'm gonna rip this buddy for another Applin and a Grookey. I'm going to attach to the active. I'm gonna put a Brave Bangle on just because, and then I'm going to Lily so I don't draw the Brave Bangle. We do get our Stadium, and we also get 3 Pokepads. So I'm going to get Thwackey. And I'm also going to get Diplin. And I'm also going to get another Thwackey. Put this down, we're going to evolve. 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 I'll put this on one of these, I guess. I don't think they have any bench in. And then we're going to Boom Boom Groove. I'm going to grab preemptively Lana's Prize. I think I'm going to grab this. And then I'm going to grab probably Diplin in case this one gets knocked out. That's the better play. And then we're going to do the wave for 100. And then my opponent puts a new active, and I get a double KO. Festival lead, I will attack again. And take 2 prize cards. We're going to evolve into the Dunsparce. If they use Runaway Draw, they lose. Okay. I was going to say, if they use Runaway Draw, they lose because they have no Pokemon. Okay, good. They didn't make that mistake. Actually, can you use Runaway Draw in an instance like this? I don't know. If anyone knows, let me know in the comments. Are you allowed to use Runaway Draw if the Dunsparce is your only Pokemon? The bug catching set. The thing is with this, I can just do the same thing I just did. But if they get the stadium, then they can just start evolving all the way up. But then that also helps me because I can do the same thing. Like, I can do all my evolutions. If something gets knocked out, I can just put it straight back down and evolve it again. And then put my stadium into play. I'm going to Ultra Ball for a Badoo. I don't think like they're going to item lock me. I'm not bothered. Like, that's not really something I'm worried about. If they move up the Badoo, then they're going to item lock me. If they move up something else, and they probably got Stadium. They didn't get the Stadium. Then again, they can just retreat out if they need to be. They do have Stadium. Why would you put Badoo up then? Very interesting. Kakuna. So this has an ability. I want to read this. I'm going to take 20 less damage from attacks. I still knock out with double attack. Festival lead. They're going to Ichipollen me. Again, I do not care. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to evolve this. I'm going to Boom Boom Groove for another Diplin. I'm then going to Boom Boom Groove for another Thwacky. I'm going to evolve this. Evolve this. Boom Boom Groove. I am set up for the rest of the turn now. For the rest of the game, really. We'll grab this in case we really need it. We probably won't. Do the wave. I don't even need to use a supporter. Knockout. Take a prize. Our opponent puts up a new active. Oh, I forgot to put my stadium down. My bad. I was too focused on just steamrolling through, but it's all good. It's all good. There's nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, I was way too focused on just steamrolling through. I was like, oh, there's a stadium in play. That's my stadium, right? Nope, it's my opponent's. But then again, I'm not too like fussed at the moment. Everything is fine. They're not really doing a whole lot. They're just slapping around some Pokemon, slapping around some energies. And have they played supporter? I don't think they have. Did they play the Lana? Or was that last turn? They're going to hang down. Right, I'm going to Boom Boom Groove for my stadium. Alright, Boom Boom Groove. I don't need to Boom Boom Groove for anything else. My opponent just conceded. Okay. So overall, Festival lead is very good. Very, very, very good. I think the reason why this deck didn't see a whole lot of play when it originally came out was because of the searching options that we currently have in the format. Like, back then, all we had was stuff like Buddy Poffin, Nest Ball, and Ultra Ball, whereas now we have Pokepad, and Pokepad in this deck is very, very good. Ultra Ball, not so much, because you have to get rid of 2 cards, but with Pokepad, you basically just get anything you need, because everything in this deck is a non-rule box Pokemon. I think that's why it started seeing a lot more play, is because of Pokepad. Also, a couple more damage boosting stuff, like Brave Bangle's very, very good in this deck, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think Pokepad is the main reason why this deck has become so good, because it's just such an amazing card for this deck. It basically just replaces itself with any Pokemon you need from the deck. Because we don't play any EXs, we only play non-rule box Pokemon. And you don't have to run the risk of discarding 2 cards that you may need with something like Ultra Ball. That's probably why it started seeing a whole lot of play. And this deck is incredibly strong. If you can get going, then it's very hard for your opponent to basically kind of come back in a way. Because once you have like 2 Thwackies in play and like 2 Diplins or 2 Festival League Pokemon, then you are pretty much off to the races. Because you can just smack for a whole bunch of damage, possibly 1-hit KO something, bring up your other one, get the stuff you need with Thwacky, and then just do it again. The consistency in this deck is incredible. The ability to have something that searches whatever you need every single turn is very strong, and it's not once per turn. Whereas we had stuff in the format like Pidgeot EX that was played in Charizard, that was once per turn. Boom Boom Groove on Thwackey is not once per turn, you can use multiple. Whereas if you had multiple Pidgeot EXs in play, you could only use one of them, you can't use more than one. But sometimes one is enough to get you everything you need. Like if you just need one card, yeah, that's fine. But in this deck, sometimes you do need multiple cards. For example, you need the Stadium to attack twice. And if your opponent is constantly getting rid of your Stadium, then that's going to be a little bit annoying. There's no form of Stadium recovery in the game, like you can't recover Stadiums from the discard, and if you prize a couple of them, then that might be a bit of a problem. And if your opponent is also a very Stadium reliant deck, which I don't think there are many Stadium reliant decks in the format except this one, that could be a bit of an issue. But other than that, this deck is very, very strong. I think the HP values of some of the Pokemon are a little bit on the low side, that's why we play a bunch of bench protection Pokemon like Shaman and Rellor, which Rellor never really came up because never went up against Dragapult or anything like that. But if you're up against Dragapult, Rellor is the go-to. And that's the thing, is that you kind of have to play Rellor because with stuff like Battle Cage, you get rid of your Stadium to protect your Pokemon and all that kind of stuff. We do have Patrat as well, which your opponent can't move damage around, which could see play inside this deck as a 1-of alongside Shaman and Rellor. Shaman in that second game was very, very important. I probably should have put it down a lot sooner. I mean, I had fun. This deck is very good, very consistent. It has everything it needs, a lot of tools, but in terms of festival lead, it is currently 4th on Limitless for like the top decks. Number 1 is still Dragapult, number 2 is now Raging Bolt actually, number 3 is Rocket's Mewtwo, and number 4 is Festival lead. So this could be something that I would recommend picking up if you're looking to play like a very fun deck that has a lot of counters towards the meta, a very consistent deck, a deck that requires some thinking in a way, but not like a massive amount of thinking. Like you basically just do this, put this into play and smack twice for a whole bunch of damage. And it also has its benefits in like the very early game. For example, in that third game, my opponent wasn't able to evolve their Pokemon like a whole lot. So you could just smack one of them, take it out, they bring up another one, you just smack that one and take it out if they have very low HP values. So overall, this deck is very good. I would highly recommend this deck. I had a lot of fun with this deck. I've been up against this deck before. It's not fun to play against, but when you're playing the deck, it's kind of fun. It's one of those decks where it's not fun to go up against, but when you're playing it, you feel on top of the world. And that is it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in comments. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What you think about Festival Lead. Is this a deck that you picked up day one? Is this a deck that you've stuck around with? Have you recently picked up the deck? How are you finding the deck? Do you like it? Do you hate it? All that kind of stuff. How do you think this deck could be improved in the future if we get more indirect support, more like tool cards that boost damage, more supporters that boost damage, more grass support or anything like that? Do let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that nonsense. Any and all support is greatly appreciated. And you take care.